Hey everybody, welcome back to Have You Seen This? We're actually on a streak here, We're getting a couple weeks in a row, getting a rhythm of these things. This is pretty interesting. Things are looking up.
It's the onward
Uh
order.
we've got not a lot of news. I do have a little bit of news to spring on to everybody that I was researching before the show and but uh let's
Ooh.
save that. Yeah, let's save that. First we're gonna ask, how's it going, Rob?
Oh, it's going just fine. Weather's starting to break a little bit here in Winnipeg. It is no longer 40 something below anymore. I heard that's all pushed east. And good
Hmm.
for you. You guys goddamn deserve it.
It was awful. Last Friday we had with wind chill -40 temperatures, which for our American audiences, that is -40 temperatures.
Yeah.
It was not fun. I didn't even do anything. I just went from work to home and then basically went to bed because it was too cold to even be awake.
Unbelievable.
Hibernate.
Unbelievable. Unreal.
Yeah, and it warmed up over the weekend, so it's not so bad now.
Oh, well. Better luck next time.
All right, all right. So before we get into what we've been watching this week, there's some very important news that I needed to talk about, and that is your take on the Grammys and who won Record of the Year. I I have no idea who won Record of the Year, to be honest. That's what I was researching before the show. It's
Oh
actually
my
very
god.
hard to
Wasn't it
find.
wasn't it Bonnie Raitt or was that Song of the Year? Did she win Song of the Year or Record of the Year?
Record of the Year was won by Lizzo,
Oh,
so
Lizzo.
that's a point down. Uh,
First of all, she takes the Emmy away from Nailed It, and now she takes a Grammy away from I don't know whoever was nominated. I don't pay attention much to the Grammys.
Although you were right, Bonnie Raitt did win Song of the Year.
I
But
heard that.
anyway, I honestly just wanted to talk about the Grammys because I saw that they've had like their highest ratings in multiple years, and I was just like, huh, that seems interesting. And I looked
Well,
into it, and Trevor Noah has been hosting it all of those years. So I don't know what the uptick is for no reason, but hey, more people watched it this year.
are they getting? They must be getting more artists that the kids want to hear, such as Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt,
Indeed, indeed.
super popular with the youths of today. I remember, I think it was, oh God, it was 1990, maybe 89 or 90, and my buddy and I were watching the Grammys, and this is the year that Bonnie Raitt had an album called "Nick of Time," I think, and it won everything. It won like 7 or 8 awards, and for years after that, when we talk about any kind of award show, we'd say that the winner was Bonnie Raitt. Like the best supporting actor would be Bonnie Raitt. Yeah, she just won everything. So yeah, it's fun to see. It's fun to see Bonnie Raitt win out of the blue yet again over Lizzo
Yeah,
or whoever it is.
I,
Lizzo,
to be fair, I don't recognize any of these songs. So,
not Harry
uh,
Styles. I heard that he was there, and that's got to be the key to where the audience upswing is. That they've got to be pulling in a younger audience now. The awards keep getting younger, whatever, get the younger artists to play. So 'cause
yeah,
I'd never heard of a Harry Styles show or a Lizzo show before on any of these other things. So and they had, I guess, the Bad Bunny started off, and so they find I'm not interested in watching the Grammys anymore. I haven't for years, and they've got to find an audience somewhere. So if they're finding an audience, good for them. I think it's a worthless award.
yeah.
I love music. I love it. I'd rather just do music shows and we can have you heard this. It'd be great. But yeah, to give an award for music is kind of fucking ridiculous. But what are you gonna do?
Honestly, Have You Heard This would be a great show for us to do, but we can't afford the rights to music. And
Yeah,
to
that's
do a
true.
music show, you got to be able to play the songs. So, That's disappointing.
We can do them all live.
Yeah,
Yeah, just never
live and
watch.
a cappella.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
like, yeah,
We'll do our own version.
that'll be
I'll be
excellent.
Lizzo. I'll be Lizzo.
That seems good.
Hmm. I'll do it. I don't give a shit. I'll twerk. Does she? I have no idea. I don't. I don't know if she does or not. I couldn't. I have no idea who she is.
All
That's like
right.
the name, Lizzo.
Yeah. So that's literally everything I know about the Grammys.
Sure.
Uh,
That's all you need
in
to know.
Yeah, I have actually never watched them, so
Yeah,
I have
that's.
no idea.
I remember. Yeah, like I remember when it was like Michael Jackson. Like I was going back. It was like 83, 84. I remember all those years and the Grammys. And in the 80s, it was something. Early 90s, we didn't have too many different channels to watch, so that was a big deal. And if you had cable, you could watch Much Music up here or MTV down the states, so you
Mm.
got some music there. But it was really biggers and choosers or whatever. You watch video hits up here in Canada with Samantha Taylor. That was on for half an hour when you got home from school. I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you get 30 minutes of videos on CBC with Samantha Taylor. There's some good times, but I remember I wanted to see Van Halen jump like every day, and then they would show like girls just want to have fun or something like what? You just feel robbed, or you hope to see Round and Round by Rat or something like that. No, you never get to
Yeah.
see it. Bunch of jerks. We're not gonna take it. Another classic.
Yeah.
Or Thriller, but that was the entire episode. Like they'd have Halloween, they'd show like one video or whatever, and then just Thriller for 22 minutes or whatever it was, 28 minutes. Goddamn,
I
Thriller.
remember I remember YouTube being a bad place to find music, but then also very quickly it was the best place to find music. And then
True.
Spotify later, but
Yeah, I didn't start watching YouTube until someone told me you could find old concerts on there. That's the only
mm.
reason I ever turned YouTube on. I was like, I could find concerts. No way. So
Yeah.
I found concerts, and then I could find people doing trivia, and then uh, it all kind of spiraled into this.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now I'm the
Uh
star of it. I'm the star of the entire YouTube.
Speaking of that, let's get some opinions on some shows we've been watching.
Oh shit.
What do we want to start with?
Oh,
What the fuck are you watching?
that's pretty. That's unbelievably rude. Okay, well, let's start off. We'll start it with this. I watched an episode of the new show Wolfpack. It's a Paramount Plus show,
Mhm.
and I watched it because Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it.
Yeah,
So
Buffy's a werewolf.
right. Well,
Well, I
I don't
don't know
know if
that
she
for
is.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know if she is, but I know she's in it. She's some okay. She's like an arson investigator or something like that. It starts out with these kids on this bus, and they're in the California mountains, and everything's on fire, and then all the animals start running out of the forest, and for some reason all the kids and everybody else like it's in the California mountains. Like it's making it seem like there's hundreds of thousands of people that are living up there. There's no fucking way. But yeah, all of a sudden all these animals and some cheesy CGI of animals jumping over this wrought iron fence, which was pretty funny, and and crushing people, and one kid gets stamped in the head. It's like, oh, I thought this is going to be Buffy level violence, like kind of cartoony sort of violence. No, like an actual hoof right through his face. So it's like, ooh, this is 15 seconds in, and then I've talked about this before. I love swear words. I think they're terrific. I love them. A well placed swear word is one of my favorite things in the entire world. Uh, Sometimes I love it even more than family. But this, when you use them just because, it's like you're trying to toughen up a character or show this character's got attitude or something like that. It's like, oh, you sully it. You sully the word fuck's good name. Like, come
Mm.
on.
Although
Unbelievable.
I am wanting to take the Fast and Furious franchise and replace the word family with random cuss words.
Oh my
Just
god.
because sometimes they're better than family.
You
So
want your
let's.
mouth washed out with soap?
I want to put that to the test.
So, anyways, in this first episode, of course, you got the typical the teenage girl with an attitude. You know, the world's done her wrong. She's got an attitude. Oh my goodness gracious, family death. Uh, and then there's another kid, and they're on the same bus, and they both get bit by something. Guess what it is? By the title, Wolfpack. And
A
then,
spider?
right, they get
A
bit by a
radioactive
radioactive
spider?
spider. Jinx.
Okay.
Okay. And then eventually it's like, oh, they're hallucinating. Oh, there's weird blood things happening. I guess they're going to turn into werewolves at some point. Uh, then you see this werewolf, and I don't know. The story itself, the first episode, a bit of a mess, really convoluted. Uh, the I don't know. He's in there because he got bit, and then uh, they're like, "Oh, it's a scratch," and he'll take a look at it. It's like, "Oh, that's pretty deep." And then the next time you see it, there's nothing. It's like, didn't the nurse just say there's like I don't know. And yeah, I don't know if he's supposed to be healing faster or something like that, but his parents seem to be jerks, and I don't know. It's an awful mess. And you see Buffy. It's like, okay, Buffy. Yeah, I'm an arson guy. I'm here with this cop. Yeah, it looks like the arson may have been started by one of the people on your bus. It's like, what? How? This thing is huge. It's huge. It's like, oh, no, no, no. We pinpointed it to someone on the goddamn bus with you. It's like, oh, what? You guys did that pretty quick. And that bus was destroyed, and there was a ram that was on fire. Yeah, it was, yeah. I'm going to watch the second episode. I'm going to do the three. If I can make it through the three, I'll continue on. Right now it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. There's characters. I do like the lead guy, and it seems to be pretty interesting. The girl not so much. She's supposed to be the mature one, more mature than her asshole father, and she's got a autistic brother or something like that they've just left in a motel because they said, "Oh, we're trying to get to each other now. We'll just go to the motel, which is closer." It's like, aren't you supposed to get away from the fire? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in this episode of television that made me go, "What is this?" But you see Buffy, and then she starts acting. It's like, I wish you were Buffy. Like it's like she doesn't have too many lines and stuff like that. But you when you see her in an episode like this, you're figuring that she's gonna be something more than she is. But she just seemed to be like some arson cop or something like that. So it's like, well, we'll see. We'll see. So far, this is a I won't recommend it. I will finish the next two episodes. I'll come back with a more full synopsis of what I believe. But right now, not looking good, Daniel. What have you been watching?
You finally said my name. I can talk again.
How dare you?
You jinxed me earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, anyway, I've been watching. I watched more of Vox Machina.
Hmm.
There's 3 episodes left. Those will be next week, or actually this week, I guess, since the week already started. Um,
They do
again,
three episodes a week.
I hibernated for 3 days, so I can't remember what day it is anymore.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Yeah, it's 3 episodes every Friday, and they're only 12 episode seasons, so it's very, very come and gone. um, so watch that. Semi spoiler review. There still be dragons. Uh, so we'll see what's happening with that. They've they've started to make some deviations to the actual storyline, and I like a lot of them. So I I enjoyed the episodes all in all. They're spending more time to tell a thrilling story than to tell like their specific episode,
Oof.
like their
Oof.
specific story that they were doing as a campaign, because that a lot of it was boring shopping episodes, to be fair.
Do you go online and do you see what other fans of the actual role play show say about it? Like, are you in the majority? Do most of the role play listeners or watchers do they enjoy the new directions they're going with the show? Or you having people whine and bitch about it?
A little bit of everything, honestly. Like, all all the most controversial opinions are the ones that the internet algorithm floods people with. So you'll definitely see a mix of everything. But um, I've seen a lot of people go from the watching the show to checking out the campaigns, and I've seen a lot of people go back and forth. Some people just aren't a fan of it. Some people really like it. It Opinions are across the board. So pretty successful, I would say, as far as adaptations go.
Mhm.
No, nobody's ripping it to shreds.
Except me, but I had no idea.
Sure.
Yeah, I just ripped it singing, and also just to be a jerk.
The
Oh boy,
Fonz is in this batch of episodes, Rob.
what?
Yeah, the Fonz shows up. I don't know if that moves the needle for you.
Does he say sit on it or a? I love that. Or do you
I
just mean Henry Winkler, which is fine.
it
It's a
it
national
it is just
national
Henry
treasure.
Winkler, but it's still Henry Winkler.
As the Fonz.
No.
Ugh.
Yeah,
As a gnomish Fonz,
Ooh, he has a
and
who's
beautiful
also a
singing
doctor.
voice. Oh my god.
then also some things I watched. I didn't get all the way caught up, but I watched some of The Last of Us, episodes 2 and 3. I watched 3 earlier today. That was a very, very good episode.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you thought. Since we did the show last week, we we talked about again, trying not to spoil too much stuff for you. Always trying to go around it because you can't seem to catch up. But I was just going like seeing what other people thought. There's some people like I'll say most of the people like agreed with what we were saying, but what a terrific episode of television this is, and how much they've done with one really kind of minor character in the show. Like he's only in the one bit as far as I can remember, and you never see. Well, you kind of see his buddies, or you can see Murray's legs hanging and stuff like that. You never get to see much about it. And I guess there's two ways. Like in the game, there's two different ways you can go. Like I remember him calling him his partner, but I never remember anything about them being 11. Never like when I was playing it, never thought about it. But I loved the story and how it went out, stuff like that. If it wasn't in the game, kudos to them for what they've done. They do that again this week, where they take a part of the game, but they've really expanded it. Not well, and
Mm.
also they changed places. Like I think the first one was in Pittsburgh or something like that. Like when they were going through. Now it's in Kansas City. So somehow they've already made it to Kansas City in this truck, which is pretty remarkable. Siphoning gas and sleeping out in the woods. There's so much stuff that looks like the video game, like all the time in this thing. That it, like as a guy, and someone who's played the game, like just appreciate that so much. I'm willing to see whatever they're gonna do with this stuff, but again with more minor characters getting way bigger roles. I think it's happening uh, towards the end of this episode. Um, oh yeah, well I think most of it was filmed in around Calgary, uh, but they at the end of the episode there's characters showing up again. That just seemed like if I like I'm again, I haven't played this game in 8 years, 7 years, whatever it's been, but it just feels like they're taking like this little tiny bits and just blowing it up. So as when I was wondering before, how are they going to make this uh like a 10 episode thing or whatever? It's like how are they going to make this so that they can keep going? Uh, well, I guess it's because they can take these small little scenes and make hour, 2 hours worth of content out of it. It's pretty remarkable. But anyways, I got off on a tangent there. Okay, so you enjoyed episode 3. What did you think of episode? Well, let's start with episode 2. What were your thoughts on
Yeah,
episode 2?
episode 2 is, I mean, I heard a little bit of what you guys were talking about last week. I also had to leave to take a phone call in the middle of it, so that was also good. Um, it, it's a great video game. Like, episode 2 seems like a very like video game level sort of thing. Like,
100%.
it was very cool. And you can really see like the scale of destruction and the scale of the fucking zombies, and like it's a very fun episode, and it establishes like how terrifying the world is.
I
So
love what
I
they're doing with the zombies and with the fungus and stuff like that. Like everyone
mm,
having them on the ground and stuff like that, so that you can almost like they can communicate through the ground or whatever because of the way the fungus is running and stuff like that. I love that. I think it's amazing. Uh, there
absolutely
there's
terrifying,
some and
I
there's something
believe you
coming.
meant to say.
There's something coming. Uh, that should have happened already, but it's coming. And yeah, I can't wait for you to see this episode. Hopefully, you can see the episode Friday, so we can talk about it next Tuesday. We can talk about episode 5 in a much bigger scale because what's coming is pretty cool and really gross. So,
Mm.
what do you think of Ellie and Joel together? Did you play the game?
I did not like finish it. I played a couple of hours into it on a couple different occasions, but I'm not super familiar with the storyline, and so I'm just kind of watching the show to see what it's like.
Yeah, you're enjoying you don't mind like these taking half an hour just to Joel and Ellie just driving around between states and stuff like that, just talking. You're fine with all of this. Nothing. There isn't anything too slow or anything moving too slow. Do you enjoy that they're actually building these characters the way they build them in the game?
Well, I also haven't got to the road trip episode yet. Like
Oh my god.
they just got the car, but
What did you
um
think about Tess? Like, did you have an idea that this was like had you already passed that part of the game or whatever?
uh no. I did not remember her from the game, and I I just knew like in certain ways, I guess spoiler alert, but this episode's already a week old. Um I I knew things were going to happen, and I knew she was gonna die because I know the game is only about two people. So I was like, well, at some point this is gonna happen.
He does meet a bunch of people. If that makes you feel better, but yeah, I really like the way they did it. It's
Yeah,
similar and
call
stuff.
back to
Similar.
like Ellen and Joe in Supernatural. I I really loved that, and it was a great episode, and like
No idea.
I thought of that immediately. I was just like, holy shit, this is the second time I've seen this.
Oh my god. No, I yeah. Still have not seen not 1 minute of Supernatural. I've never seen it.
Mm. Well, there's an episode where two people blow themselves up to kill a bunch of hellhounds, I believe it is.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I never
Well,
have to see it. Thanks. Just kidding.
one of them's like already cut to shreds, and she can't move, and so her mom stays with her to both like blow it up and also stay with her. So it's a very touching moment, very touching episode, and also like super badass explosion. They're like in a hardware store, so they make the most ridiculous bomb that they can create and then blow it up as the demons get in. So
If it came down to it, do you think you'd be able to build a bomb? I don't think I'd ever be able to. I'd have no idea.
I I
I
could
just stick
figure it
like a
out.
bunch of nails in it. I grab a jar and stick some nails in it and throw a match in there. Maybe it would work. I have
That's
no
not
idea.
gonna work. That's
Oh, okay.
definitely not gonna work.
Damn it. That's why those bombs never worked.
Mm,
Well,
maybe
guess I did try.
yeah, maybe after the show I'll elaborate further. Maybe not on air. Uh,
No, no way.
and then yeah, episode 3. Jesus, that that episode was so long for one, and I saw in my Crave playlist that episode 4 is only 45 minutes, and I was like, oh, so this show can be a normal length. Okay,
They can
but
vary.
no, episode 3 was an entire movie. That was insane.
Yeah. And it really takes you out of, the zombie bit of the apocalypse. Maybe it's still apocalypsey, as they're the
Mm,
only two people in that entire town. But again, it's so different from the game, and so good on them for having the guts just to uh, take characters or minor characters from the story and just give them a whole new life on such a wider scale. Uh,
yeah.
I think they're about to do that with more characters coming up that I don't want to spoil. But uh, yeah, the stuff with the hunters again isn't a huge part of the game, uh, and the people you meet were it's kind of random, but it doesn't seem to be random now. They've built a story between the leaders of the hunters, and her name's Kathleen in this one, and then Henry and his brother, and I think his brother's name's Sam, if I remember right. So, but you'll see all about it, and still lots of cool stuff like him getting to get Ellie to hide and doing all these little things or whatever. It just feels like a video game. It feels like you're
Mm.
watching the most well-produced video game ever made. So it
And
has that feel to it.
the one thing that disappointed me in the episode was when, like, especially when they were sitting down to like plan the suicide.
Yeah,
I definitely think that he should have at some point he should have said the line back, just like the "I'm sorry for getting old faster than you."
yeah,
I think that would have just like, just put a super nice cap on it. But such a lovely episode,
yeah.
honestly.
I think they did okay. I think you'd be a little bit nitpicky. I was just trying to think of what disease he had. I heard some people saying he had cancer, and I don't. It didn't look like he had cancer. Like I thought maybe he had ALS or something like that. The way his body was
Mm,
going down. So, yeah. Either way, uh, it'd be so. Yeah, it'd be so tough. It'd be so tough on both of them. So, yeah, a terrific episode, a great ending. Help move the story along. That whole thing is just about Joel and Ellie getting a truck. So they have, yeah,
yeah,
they, yeah,
the
yeah. They have to do some work in the game, and this one or whatever, it's everything's in the fridge or whatever. It's strange. It was strange. I didn't know you could do that with a car battery, but I don't know shit, and I'm not very smart. Not
yeah,
when it comes to that
I
stuff.
have no idea.
Oh my god. Yeah, uh, you just noticed it. Good for you. That's
That's
the guys. That's the ghost in the back. Paying attention. Okay, so we won't get too far into episode 4. We'll wait for you to
mhm.
catch up. Hopefully, you can see. Oh my gosh, there he is again.
Oh, I'm here. I'm not.
Look at that. Well, thank God he had clothes on. That's all I gotta say.
Accidental ghost appearance.
Yeah, it's kind of coming through the walls and stuff like that. I will be more scared if his head just pops out of your closet or something like that. Ooh. Speaking of ghosts, let's talk ghosts of sitcoms past. Let's talk a little bit about
Excellent.
that '90s show. Now, uh, I was I remember when the trailers came out and the news came out. That '90s show's coming back, like there, but not like that '80s show where it's just all new random people that you have to give a shit about.
Mhm.
Red and Kitty are back. Uh, it's still in what is it? Point? Was it? What's the Point Place or something like that?
Point Place, yeah.
Yeah, Point Place, Wisconsin. Uh, Now, I'm always worried when there's kid actors. Um, you can see what just even a couple members not really gelling can do to a thing like Wolfpack, where it doesn't look like very cohesive. It's not looking great right off the bat. And I don't know if it's because of Red and Kitty being in that '90s show, but I actually felt kind of at ease. I was wary, but as I got through the first episode into the second episode, I just was able to relax and just enjoy watching the show. I won't say this is my favorite sitcom I've seen in a while, but far from it. But I think it was enjoyable. I'm glad I watched it. And the news came out that they're doing a second season now, and I'll probably watch that.
Yeah.
22-minute episodes. There's only 10 of them. It's not a huge slog. I did go through it through a few days.
I do regret to inform you that there will be 16 episodes in season 2.
What? Why do they do these things? It wasn't needed. Like she goes for a summer. She goes for the
No,
summer.
yeah, I thought 10 was perfect, but
Yeah.
Maybe. I do think season 2 will be better. I think like by the end of the season, a lot of characters have like kind of grown into themselves a little bit better, and maybe also because of the way things are filmed, they like there are glimpses of it throughout the season where like there's considerably better acting being done, and I think that like once everyone has their characters down, I find especially in sitcoms like the second and third seasons can be where your gold is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you look at things like even like The Simpsons. There's so many things or whatever. You got through the first season, you kind of
Even
get
like
an
the
idea how
first 8 episodes of Community, like by
some
the end of the first season, there's some great things, but
yeah, if you looked at Abed in that first episode and Abed by the end of that first season, it's two different characters.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, same with most of them. Like, yeah, as well. Look at Britta. She totally Britted after the first episode. Way different. Now, what did you think? Like, I thought the cameos were well placed. You didn't get tons of them. I think the most you get is Fez, but
Yeah.
Fez was Fez. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like he was doing a character of his old character. It felt natural how he did it. Um, and then Eric and Donna, very, not in it very much. Um, it's all you needed. You just needed Eric to be there to kind of set things up, seeing how he wasn't even in the last couple of seasons of that '70s show. Uh, Donna was fine. It was fun seeing Kelso again. Yeah, everything was fine. Tommy Chong being in there was great. They never made mention of Danny Masterson, which is probably goddamn good. Never mentioned one peep out of him. But I think the show, like the kids were really good. I liked Leia. Uh, I wouldn't have kept watching it if it wasn't for Red and Kitty, though. I thought they were terrific. And I was worried about is this going to be too much Red and Kitty?
Mm.
But I was like, by the end of it, I was like, I wish there was more Red and Kitty. I liked it a lot better. They
Is
I
there
still
more? Because I was a lot younger when I was watching that 70s show, so I can't really remember like if there's more Red and Kitty in that 90s show or
I think they have it about right. I think it's about what it was. Maybe a little bit more. There might be a
Mhm.
little bit more. Uh, yeah, like there isn't any episodes where the gang goes to a concert or anything like that, and where you will hardly see Red and Kitty at all, maybe in one scene. This one they have them in the 2 or 3 scenes each. They seem to be
Yeah.
around it quite a bit. Yeah,
And it seems like
the kids spend
Ozzy
a
is
lot of
gonna
time at
do a
the house.
lot of time. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
Ozzy's gonna spend a lot of time hanging out with them, and like the other kid who's like the neighbor. I can't remember all their names for sure.
Nikki, was that her? No, that was the other one.
Yeah.
Gwen.
Gwen and
Yeah,
her brother, who is the dumb kid.
yeah, the big dude. Um,
It's
what
hard
did
to
you
say
think
the
of their
dumb
mom?
kid and the Kelso.
Right? Yeah, they were both basically the same person. What did you think of the mom? Should have been the annoying trope, like the dumb neighbor. But I actually liked her. I thought she was really good, especially that second episode where she had to borrow the shower there, and then Red and Kitty forgot, went upstairs, had sex, and she was trapped in the bathroom while this is happening. So I thought she did a real good job, and then she was dating Fez and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought she did good. It could have been a lot worse, but she was basically the new Bob for this series,
Mm,
and it worked. It worked for me. It was nice. Also nice seeing Bob later on or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Sad Bob. But yeah, he was good.
What a sad Bob.
Are you looking?
especially
Are you looking
especially
forward to a
after
second?
his
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, especially after his gift got like destroyed by Red's
Yeah,
gift. That was
yeah. The Vista. Okay, that one I wasn't such a big fan of. It's like, oh, they just had the Vista Cruiser hanging around. Didn't Aaron take that? Like, oh my god, whatever.
like
With
yeah,
the
it
exact
it
same
should
car.
have been
Come on.
in an earlier episode.
Yeah, they should
Like
have just showed it having dust. They should have shown the boxes on it or something like that, and then have them
yeah.
clean it up or whatever. It's an easy fix there, guys. All of a sudden, just the Vista Cruisers cleaned up and give it to the kid or whatever. Uh, yeah, I wish Kelso's kid was a little more Kelso-y. I think he could have went a little bit more dumb. I think, but between him and the neighbor's kid or whatever, maybe that would have just been too much of the same character, I guess. Um,
Mm,
yeah, the Nikki girl maybe wasn't needed too much or whatever, just to have another relationship in there. But you know, I wouldn't. Yeah, wouldn't complain about a single episode. They were all fine. You know, am I gonna
yeah.
watch them again? No, I won't. I'm not gonna watch them again. But I will watch when the next season comes out. But 16 episods. They could
yep,
just do
yep.
2 seasons. Just do 2 more 8 episode seasons. That's fine.
yeah.
16. Maybe they're doing a scene for scene remake or recreation of that Daredevil show that Disney Plus is doing. That 16 episode. It'll just be Born Again. It'll just be Daredevil Born Again, starring that 90s show.
That
Red's
would
Daredevil.
be very confusing because from their perspective, that show doesn't come out for 27 years.
Yeah, and Kitty's Elektra. But the comic was out. The comic was out then. I
all
think it's
right,
supposed to
all
be
right.
19. I think they said it's July 95. So they had that
Okay, okay.
camcorder thing or whatever.
So they can create like they can basically create Daredevil and then have their idea stolen retroactively by
Yes, and a
yeah.
and a centenarian Red can then sue Disney and all of its associates for like he'll
Excellent.
probably for yeah he'll just settle for putting a boot in their ass or something. Okay.
um,
Anyways,
yeah,
thumbs up. Yeah. Go ahead, watch that '90s show. It's fine. It's good. You know,
good series. Yeah,
turn your brain off. You can watch it, and you'll enjoy it. Just you don't even have to do it all in a row. Just 10
yeah,
episodes. That's it. It's fine. It's already coming
and
back.
yeah, like the original, it is improved by being stoned, but it's a good show either way.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, it's just true.
So, all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
More stuff we've been watching. So, and finally, everyone started talking about the White Lotus. I've started
Mhm.
watching the White Lotus. Only the first 2 episodes in. Uh, I like it. I'm still waiting to see what the big deal is, though. I don't know if you've seen any of this yet. There's all
I haven't.
yeah,
It's on my list, but
there's all kinds of people I enjoy. Murray from that episode of The Last of Us is the hotel conciliary or something like that, or like the I guess not the conciliary. He's like the hotel the manager or whatever. But Steve Zahn's in it, and I always love to see a Steve Zahn. Uh, Stifler's mom is in it, and I guess she gets more popular. I guess she wins. She just won an Emmy for this role for her work in season 2. So I
hmm.
guess there's a body. Uh, there's a body that they say, like, the very first thing they talk about is there's a body coming home, and the one guy is sitting there, and the asshole husband of Alexandra Daddario says, "Yeah, there's a body." Like, but we haven't said who it was, if it's his wife or who it is. We don't know. So I don't know if that's supposed to be what the mystery is for the first season. But there's some kind of mystery. And Steve Zahn's there with his family and a friend. They brought a friend, or his daughter's friend, along for some reason. Must be nice. They brought a whole bunch of drugs, which is very fun, I guess. I don't know how they made it onto a plane with all they're carrying, which is a no.
Uh-oh.
Uh, yeah. Um, but yeah, again, and then they lose it, for God's sakes, the minutes. And then yes, but that's as far as I've gotten. I've gotten 2 episodes in. Steve Zahn was going through a health crisis, and then that went away within 2 episodes. I don't know how that's going to affect anything, but yeah, of all the talk about White Lotus, which I guess gets really good, those first 2 episodes are having me going. And what do you think it is? Do you think it's just I had all these people talk about how good it is, so my expectations are sky high, and I just haven't seen it yet, or am I just being impatient?
I'm not sure. I've definitely heard a lot of talk about White Lotus being very good, but also like very specifically, everyone who talks about it being good doesn't say why. And that could either be a really good thing or a really bad thing.
There you go. It gets better as it goes.
And like a lot of people are like, I don't want to spoil anything for you because it's better for you to watch it. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
What I do appreciate is that it's a 6 episode first season, a 7 episode second season. So I'm already 1/3 of the way through the first
Mm.
season. So yeah, it looks like it's an easy go. I'll probably be watching another episode or 2 before I go to bed tonight. So I'll almost be done the first season already. Should be able to get through and caught up with it within this next week. Maybe we can find somebody who wants to come on and talk White Lotus. We can talk the entirety of White Lotus because I'll have it down by then. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but yeah, I do want to see what the hype is about. So far, it's been fine. It's been fine. Have you been
And yeah,
watching anything else?
honestly, the only other thing I've been watching is just randomly in my spare time, I've been binging seasons or series of Taskmaster, the British game show.
I love it.
Uh,
I love
It's
it.
really fun. I've watched like 3 or 4 of the series at this point.
Okay.
Uh, really one of the dumbest shows I've ever seen, and one where I'm just like, I'm sure I could do better. In a lot of these tasks, wow.
Yeah. Most remember that these are comedians for the most part. So for the most part, they're just trying to make it funny and not trying to always win. There's guys like Josh Whitcomb, who's a funny guy, but he's
Mm,
always going to try and win. I don't know if you've made it to the James Acaster Rod Gilbert season.
no,
I think it's
I
on
haven't seen
Netflix.
that one yet.
Yeah. Probably my favorite season. They just seem like they did not get along at all. Two very funny people. Uh, Rod
That
Gilbert being
actually is
Welsh.
a dynamic I'm interested in because of all the ones I've seen, everyone is having a really good time.
Well, I
So
think yeah,
I
they're all very good buddies, and I think Rod Gilbert is one of Greg Daniels or Greg Davies' best friends and stuff like that too.
mm,
Little Alex Horn is very good in this. Uh, he, he has a he usually has a band or whatever. He has Alex Horn in the horn section, so this is like his side project from that. But this is his baby. This is Alex Horn's baby. They just got Greg
mm.
Davies to host it, so. Uh, it's an absolute sensation in England. It's done so well. It has its own YouTube channel, guys, that has full seasons on it. It costs you nothing to watch
That's
Taskmaster.
where I've been watching it.
Yeah,
And since I got the free trial of YouTube Premium, so I don't even have ads. I can just watch all of the series without it giving me an ad every 12 minutes.
smart.
That's
Uh,
generous too.
it's a good gateway. Like uh, I love British game shows. I love British panel shows, and
Mm.
Taskmaster is a great gateway into those kind of things for
And
people who
it's a
don't know
bit of
much about
both
them.
of those.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And you'll see the same people on on the other various shows, be it Would I Lie to You, or would it be at uh, any one of the other 200-300 game shows and panel shows they have, and they don't pay anybody. That's another crazy. All these people are going on like there's no prize money for them or anything like that. If there's
Mhm.
prizes, like the prizes you win in Taskmaster are the things that you bring that you think Greg Davies will give you points for at the beginning
Yeah.
of the episode. That's it. You win everybody's favorite shit.
Some
That's
of
it.
those are worth cash, but
Some of them. Yeah. Wait till you get to the James Acaster, Rod Gilbert episodes. So fun. They are so fun. The Sarah Millican stuff, so funny. But yeah, that first season of Taskmaster is a real treat. And
yeah.
and they get when they get to like the best ofs and stuff like that, the champions versus champions stuff is very good as well. You just can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Taskmaster. I'm glad you found that thing. Maybe we can tell me what when you're on the next series or whatever, and I'll start watching it too. Maybe we can talk about a full series of Taskmaster on the show too. That's something I'd love to talk about.
Mm.
Get
It's
more
a
into
lot of fun.
Taskmaster. Oh yeah, fantastic, guys! Watch Taskmaster. It's free. What do you want from me? It's funny.
Yeah. And honestly, we've made insane time, but we've talked about like 6 different shows.
That's what we're here
And
for.
yeah,
We're
if you
streamlined.
have anything else to talk about,
No, I am glad that you mentioned Taskmaster. Now it's like, oh, I was gonna watch White Lotus. Do I want to watch more Taskmaster? I think I've seen, I think I've seen every episode, but it's like, oh, I could go back and watch again. It's like, oh, did he say he's watched 4 of them? Oh, I could jump on 5. I could start watching that one. Oh yeah. Great stuff. It's so fun. Yeah, try and find like, and Greg Davies is good in everything he does. He did a show with Andy Samberg. I believe it's on Netflix. I can't remember what the title of it is, but It's pretty good.
I'm going to find that immediately after this.
Yeah, look up Greg Davies and the stuff he's done on IMDb. It does not disappoint. He's good in everything he does. It's so funny. He's just such a big, awkward British person. Yeah, imposing but funny. Yeah, fantastic. Great guy.
All right. So that about does it then. We can jump into some plugs. You got anything?
I've got over on the LGR network the highlights. I do English Premier League show called The Starting 11. Episode just dropped today. We talk the end of the transfer window in England, past week's matches, the huge scandal going on with Manchester City right now. Delia and I give our opinions on that. Hopefully at some point I'll have my show LGR After Start back up and running if you're a patron of the LGR network. What else do I have going? I'll be doing a show soon with 50, another episode of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I believe he just had an episode dropped today as well about Gallifrey. An interesting bunch over there with an odd sense of fashion. But anyways, you can, if you want, you can follow me at Snark Yeti on Twitter. Guys, I don't do much of anything on there except for like things that my friends do, and that's about it. I was going to say you can look for me on Instagram, but there's no pictures on there. Maybe pictures from like 8 years ago or something like that, and 0 of myself. So there you go. A heck of a social media follow. How about you?
Yeah. Pretty much the same. Not really much to plug for myself. So I'll just let everybody know to go check out Dave's show on the Multiverse of Geekdom. What's the show called? I wish I remembered the name of the show.
Hey, I don't know.
What's the name of your show?
I'm gonna start making up a name for it every week. I'm gonna say it's called "I Get Lost in Your Eyes."
The Geekdom Initiative over on the Multiverse of Geekdom. We talk about Lost in a spoiler-filled way for people who have seen the show with a full view of call forwards, call backs, connections, behind the scenes information. And oh boy, on to Deus Ex Machina next week. One of the best episodes of season 1.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Is it
the Geekdom Initiative or is it the G.E.E.K.
I'm just on that show. I'm not in charge, so I actually don't know.
I thought about it and I was like, wait.
It's an acronym. Now you have to figure it out. Now you have to write out what geekdom means as an acronym. That's your job for the week, Daniel.
Yeah.
Fine.
The worst.
Wow.
But yes, you should absolutely go watch both of their shows, and I am not doing any other shows at the moment, so you can't watch me doing them.
Daniel's a monogamous.
What a bragger. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just never home, so it's kind of hard to do shows when I'm not even home. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Me very, very busy indeed. But I will be here next week for the next episode of Have You Seen This? And I hope everybody will catch us then. And for myself and for Snark and for Dave, we wish you a wonderful rest of the week.
Yeah.
Rob, maybe.
Yes. I like the dance.